There have been highs and lows, people. Highs and lows. And I'm gonna get into it. So, in the past month, I read 6 books. These are all of the ones that I read in the past month. And we're just gonna go through it. So we started off with Still Life with Woodpecker by Tom Robbins. Now, this book was actually recommended to me by my favorite musician. He recommends it to everyone. He wrote a song about it, which I'm still asking him to release. But we messaged about it and I was like, look, I read another book of his. I didn't love it. So, you know, you've given me high hopes about this one. It better be good. And it was good. I think I gave this a 4 out of 5. Tom Robbins, the way he writes is very intriguing. I think that's the best way to put it. Like, it's very interesting, it's very unique, it's a bit crazy. But this book, out of all the Tom Robbins ones that I've read, was the easiest to follow. It was a lovely moral in a sense, and of course my favorite quote from this is the one that 𝙃𝙗𝙧𝙗𝙗, my favorite musician, uses in his song How Can You Make Love Stay? And it's just, it was beautiful. I recommend this book highly. Next was Before Your Memory Fades. It is the 3rd book in the series. I think there's 4 books, and it's by Toshikazu Kawaguchi, and I love this series. It's so easy to read, always so like well written, such a lovely story going on. It's just genuine and sweet, you know. It's a very cozy autumn read, which like is the mood at the moment. So yeah, love this. 5 out of 5. I can't not sit and read and love these books, so there we go. Then we had So You Want to Talk About Race by Ijeoma Oluo, and I wanted to read this for a very long time, like literally years. It's been on my to read, and I've read other books on the same topic, and I felt like this one was for sure the best. One, it was written by someone who is a person of colour. The other books I had read, I didn't realise when I bought them, but were of people of colour, were written by white people. So I think, you know, going into this, I was aware that like this one was going to be better, and it was. It's got the ugliest cover in the world. Not this bit. I just hate the colours. I don't like, it's funny because I'm wearing this blue, but in books I'm very like, I don't like this colour. I know there's like a green and white one. I think I would have preferred that, but anyways, that's literally me being very nitpicky and doesn't come into my score at all. This covered obviously everything that I thought it was going to cover, and it definitely made me think more than I thought it would, which says, well, it kind of proves the point of the book, really. You know, I feel like I'm someone who's very clued up and, you know, aware, and that's great. But being able to sit down and have someone kind of explain things to you from their perspective, it's always going to be a bit more eye-opening anyway, regardless if it's not your experience. And yeah, it made me think. And I also love that it was written so poetically. Like, the writer was beautiful with her words, and I think she mentions being a writer of other books, and so it made sense whilst I read this that she was a writer in general. Like, she wasn't just writing this for the sake of writing this, she loves writing. So I loved that bit as well. I think when someone writes something non-fiction but makes it sound fiction in the beauty of their words, that's special. So this was also a 5 out of 5. I'm realising it's the exact same colours as my top now, and I'm gonna get hated for that, but you can suck yourself because I'm very... This is the only blue thing I own, bitch. Anyways. Oh my god! Oh my god. Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. Don't even fucking speak. Don't speak to me about this book. 𝙂𝙧𝙧𝙀, as if you are not new here, you will know this, but if you are new here, let me do a quick rundown. When 𝙂𝙧𝙧𝙀 released Love Hypothesis and it went like crazy viral, I sat in Starbucks and read it in one sitting. It was what got me out of my years long book slump, okay? I loved it. Then she released, was it last year or the beginning of this year? I think it was last year. I can't remember. No, it was earlier this year, wasn't it? Pretty sure it was earlier this year. Love on the Brain, I think that's what it's called. Yeah, Love on the Brain. I hated that. It was mediocre, and that's being nice. I really didn't like it and I was very disappointed. It was okay. It was like a 3 out of 5. Oh my god, bitch, is she back? Bitch, is she back? Bitch. This better than Love Hypothesis. Better, bitch. Better. Oh my god, it's so good. I can't get over how good this is. I can't get over how good this fucking book is. When I tell you the yearning from this man, oh, the pining. I'm actually getting emotional. I just love this fucking book so much. It was like here's the thing, 𝙂𝙧𝙧𝙀's books are pretty much copy and paste in the sense of STEM women falling in love with STEM men, and it is very much so like man from a female gaze, which is great, but it is also very cliche, cringy, in that trope way, you know, fan fiction tropes that we all love, you know. We can't lie, we love those tropes, those typical romantic cheesy tropes. And I think just the last one was just like, there was no energy in that book. And the only thing I remember from that book, I think I said this last time, is that the main female wears Galaxy star print leggings. And I get it, okay? I get it. The girls that she's going for are nerdy and cozy, and like the it girl from Tumblr with the girl with the messy bun and the glasses and the sweater over her hand. We all know who this is. You know, we know that is who she's writing about. And it was the same in this, and it's the same in the Love Hypothesis, like the same similar tropes, same kind of person, etc. And I don't have an issue with that. But the last one was just so dead. It was lacking so much energy. But this one, Twilight loving bitch. Oh, I related to this one. This one I loved. Okay. But I have to repeat, what got me about this book was the pining and the yearning. No one ever talked to me again. I love this fucking book. Thank you for attending my TED Talk. Next. Oh, from one high to the biggest low ever. I'm selling this book. Because I fucking hate it. Whoever convinced me, it's the internet, I'm blaming the internet, to buy this is the same damn bitch that convinced me to buy The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which is the worst book in the history of history. Because, oh my god. To be fair, I like this more than The 7 Husbands, which isn't that hard because I really fucking hated that one. This one is like a solid 2.5 out of 5 because it is just this cover is gorgeous, stunning, gorgeous. Even if the internet hadn't convinced me to get this, I probably would have gotten it because the cover is just stunning. The book itself, why? I put my review up on Instagram and I'm just gonna read that like straight from there because I can't even put into words how annoyed I am by this book. Is it still romantic to be in a relationship and love someone else? Tired tropes and beautified sadness escaped by soul-destroying realities instead of telling what could have been a lovely story. The ending, although matched with a sore middle, was a lemony breeze comparative to every other page in this book. A stunning cover meets a disappointing discussion within. Well written, yet tragically done time and time again. I'm very surprised I wrote that, because that's very well written. Don't. The whole... I love you but I love someone else trope is like, I'm done. I'm tired, I'm bored. It's not romantic. I've been in that situation. It's soul destroying. It's boring. It's not beautiful and tragic. This isn't Romeo and Juliet, bitch. I know it's a fictional story, I get it. But it's not a romantic trope. And the thing is like, I don't think that the writer went into this going, what's a romantic trope? And just went, oh, like a love triangle. No, I don't think she did that. I think she wanted it to be sad and she wanted it to be tragic, right? But it's like this beautified tragedy and I can't fucking deal with that. If you want to involve tragedy, you need to go either full Call Me By Your Name, which is like heartache tragedy, or full A Little Life, which is pure soul destroying depression. There's no in between, and this is where this falls in between. But it's also a failure at that being in between. I hated all the characters as well. And there was just some characters, like friends, who we learnt about and then they just kind of disappeared and we didn't hear about them again. And it was like, why was there a chapter from their point of view? It added nothing. It added absolutely nothing to the story. You can tell how passionately I dislike this book. You really can. It's so stupid. It was almost like, I can understand that from the beginning, it was almost like that Romeo Juliet-esque thing where it's like, you know, destined to not be together, but destined to love each other. And I get that, and you can do that trope without the emotional cheating. You can do it where they separate because they realise that they're not good for each other, and then they go and find people and it could have been lovely, right? And it's just like, why did we have to go through the emotional cheating for that? It's not tragic. It's makes me feel like your characters are just pure dickheads because both of them did it. So it's just like, everyone's just a dickhead here. I don't like any of you. That's how this book felt. I could go on and on about how much I dislike this book. I really, really could. Yeah, it's just not for me. It's just not for me. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Don't get me wrong, it was well written. Like, I don't really have, but the characters were so unlikable and it was just such a shitty story. And then there was a book I read before that, which I don't have because I also sold that, which was A Girl is a Half-Formed Thing. And the thing is, right, is the reason I sold that wasn't because I disliked it, but again, it would be a 3 out of 5. It was the way it was written. I couldn't form a relationship with the characters, and I think the story was important, and I think it was a thought out plot, right? And I don't think it was this where it was trying to be romanticizing negative things, but it was another end of that line where it was kind of like, everything's tragic, but I'm gonna try and be poetic about it. And some people can pull that off. I think like Call Me By Your Name is my go-to, where it's like, this is the most heartbreaking story, but I'm gonna tell it in like a really tragic, poetic way, you know? And like, some people can pull that off. In this case, it wasn't pulled off. And this isn't a spoiler, although you should know by now that all my videos are kind of filled with spoilers when it comes to books. But it's written in a way where it's incoherent. So it's kind of like, I don't know how to describe it. I actually don't know how to describe it. It's literally like incoherent thoughts. So it's like just words. It's just words, random words, random words, random. But it tells a story in those random words and those incoherent thoughts. And I get it, but I don't get it. I feel like that was very unnecessary. It just felt unnecessary. And it didn't feel like part of the story. And the story in itself is like, here's the thing, right, is negative, tragic books I can love. I can love them and be invested in them. Like A Little Life, fucking love that book so much. But the reality about depression and sadness and tragic stories and heartbreak, etc., is that there are still good times in life, despite those. Like, it doesn't mean you're going to be happy. It doesn't mean that depression goes away. It doesn't mean that those things didn't happen. It just means that even if you... I don't know how to describe this. even if you see someone get murdered one day, the next day you can give birth to your child, and that's the best love that in the world that you've ever known. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's just such variation in life, and it doesn't mean the depression goes away, but there is happy moments. And so I don't like books where it's just pure depression, because it's not realistic, and that comes from someone who has had depression, that comes from someone who has anxiety, OCD, chronic disabilities. Like, it's just not realistic, and so I don't love it, because I usually read before bed anyway, and I'm just like, it's depressing. Whereas with A Little Life, there were beautiful moments in it, such happy, tender, beautiful, loving moments, and that's why I loved it, because it was so heartbreaking, but it was so realistic. And that's why I didn't like A Girl Is a Half-Formed Thing. I just think the way it was written was unnecessary, and it was unrealistically sad. Don't get me wrong, I know people's lives are like that, but I do think everyone has good times as well, whether they're only in your childhood, or whether they're only in your adulthood, or whether they're one and few and far between, whether it's once out of 100, you're still gonna have one good thing happen to you, you know? So it's just statistically, scientifically correct what I'm saying. Anyways, finally, this lovely book that I have wanted for ages. From the A24 store. My boyfriend got me this for my birthday because he is an angel. Yeah, the Lady Bird screenplay by Greta Gerwig, and then inside are some essays by some people on the movie. Yeah, it's fair to say I finished this in a singular night because I loved it and it was great. The script to me is almost better than the movie. And I love the movie, 5 out of 5. But I'm just saying, like, the way Greta Gerwig writes a script, as someone who is a script bachelor's degree high graduate, oh my god, the way she writes is so good. It's so emotive. I would die and would pay to see the Barbie script, because I bet it's better than the movie. I just know for a fact. I like the movie, but I just know it's better than the movie. I just know that Greta Gerwig could 100% write a book and it would be brilliant. Anyways, if it wasn't clear, 5 out of 5. So, that is the end of my monthly reads. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I enjoyed most of it. But I will see you soon, because I'm already on the next 2 books. Oh, wait, I missed one. I missed an important one. Archer's Voice. I listened to the audiobook. It's the first audiobook of the year. I don't really listen to audiobooks, but I found it on YouTube. Yeah, literally like 4.8 out of 5. I think the only thing that is like off is that it's like very, very cliche to the point where it's a bit of an overkill, but it is so romantic, and some lines, they killed me. And when I can get attached to a character and I'm like rooting for the couple, it's like, shit for kids. So I think like the moral of the story is sometimes you can trust the internet and sometimes you can't. And I think we all knew that, so I don't know why I'm acting like that's something new, but don't go and read Cleopatra and Frankenstein. It's not worth it. I hated it and it was boring. And the rest, go and read. Apart from, was there another one? Oh, Girl Is a Half-Formed Thing. Actually, you can read that one. I didn't mind reading that one. It wasn't that bad. It was just, I didn't connect with it. It wasn't my thing, you know. Love you guys. Oh, that was so good. See you later. See you in my next video. Love you.